Greetings, creature seekers! I'm Funky Monkey. Welcome to my House of Love. You know, thinking back about it now, I feel I really should have put Hellboy 1 into my House of Love. It was a good film, and it did have quite a sweet core. Still, what's done is done, and we can only now look to the sequel to put things right. In the intervening years between the two films, the franchise jumped from the now-defunct Revolution Studios to Universal Pictures. And so, in 2008, Hellboy 2 was released. Noticeable differences include the use of Doug Jones's own voice for the character of Abe Sapien, and a drastically revamped Liz Sherman. But what's it about? It's about an hour and 54 minutes, if you must know. Seriously though, follow me now into a world of magic and mythology as we prepare to meet the Golden Army in Hellboy 2. Christmas? Again? You know, if I didn't know better, I'd swear that the fates were telling me to do some kind of Christmas special. Professor Broom reads to his adopted son the legend of the Golden Army.
Long ago, man, beast, and elf alike all lived together under the Father Tree, but man dreamt of conquering all the world. The magical creatures fought hard for their world, but man was too strong, until the master of the Goblin Smiths offered his service and built an army of golden automatons, and a crown to command this army, enchanted to work only if worn by one of royal blood, unchallenged before them. Suppose, however, that there was one who could challenge for the right to command this army.
Remember this detail, it's important.
But the Golden Army knew no remorse, and the Elven King did not desire the end of man. Thus, hostilities were ceased, the army's command crown was split in three, and a pact was struck. Man would remain in their cities, and the beasts and magical creatures would keep the forests. But the Prince of the Elves, Nuada, was not convinced, and exiled himself to await the day that humanity broke their word.
We then return to that bastion of the bizarre, that synagogue of the strange, the BPRD.
As the team are called to a disturbance in Manhattan. When the crown to command the Golden Army was divided, the Elven King kept 2 pieces for himself, giving only a third to man. Could it be that someone wishes to reunite the crown? Could it be the exiled prince? And why now? Stay tuned to find out the who and the what, but you only have to switch on the news to find out why. The BPRD investigate, until they're ambushed by tooth fairies.
I know what you're thinking. Tooth fairies? They don't scare me. Haha, they would if they were these tooth fairies. 3rd century vintage Black Forest calcivores. Mostly eat skin, organs, bone. Go for the teeth first, though. In fact, we had an infestation of them over Christmas.
But Liz is having none of it.
Nuada, Prince of the Elves, returns to the court of his father. But a happy reunion this is not.
Nuada argues that the humans have broken their world and despoiled the earth in their greed, which was rather hard to argue back in 2008.
Nuada takes his father's crown, but Princess Nuala, Nuada's twin, will not be party to genocide and flees. Back at the BPRD, we're introduced to Johann Kraus, who immediately sets about interrogating one of the intact tooth fairy corpses. The reason that Kraus has been recruited is to be Hellboy's minder, which is a full-time job, I can tell you. Not that I know from experience or anything. And so, our heroes are led to the entrance of the long-fabled troll market. At the market, Abe spots the princess trying to look inconspicuous. Trying to look inconspicuous? You can't try to look inconspicuous. You're either inconspicuous, or you're conspicuous. Either way, you're more conspicuous for trying to look inconspicuous. I'm surprised that isn't a trope, because I've seen it again and again and again. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's move on. Abe tracks the princess to a mapmaker's shop and they share a moment.
Which is gooseberried by Nuada's enforcer, Mr. Wink. Enter Hellboy and exit Wink.
Ooh, nasty. But news of his servant's death filters back to Prince Nuada, and his vengeance is swift and terrible.
Nuada summons a forest elemental, which rampages across the city. Naturally, the BPRD destroy it, but all the chaos doesn't sit well with the locals.
And Princess Nuala is taken to BPRD HQ. But these twins are bound to each other, and Prince Nuada is soon on the trail. Defending the princess, Hellboy takes the fight to this egotistical elf, but oh dear. And so, Abe, Liz, Hellboy, and surprisingly, Kraus himself, lead an unsanctioned trip to Northern Ireland,
wherein they meet some form of spirit that removes the enchanted spear tip, and the goblin smith that built the Golden Army.
And so our heroes reach the Golden Army. But Abe Sapien is a fool for love.
Abe gives up the missing piece of the crown, and Nuada summons the Golden Army.
Luckily, Hellboy remembers the legend the professor told him, and challenges Nuada.
And they fight. Nuada the Silver Lancer's a jumpy, slippery blighter, but eventually Prince Arnungunrama, or Hellboy as he's better known, gets the better of the elven prince and brings the duel to a close. Top brawling red.
And when Nuada tries for a backstab, Nuala puts an end to him via herself. And so our movie ends topside, with Hellboy, Liz, and Abe resigning. Well, they're better off out of it, in my opinion. But anyway, that was Hellboy 2. As I said at the time, Hellboy 1 suffers from originitis. So much needed to be set up, and a whole world needed to be created. Hellboy 2 is much lighter for not having that weight around its neck. The movie flows from set piece to set piece with genuine character development, and our heroes seem to be genuinely having an adventure. Even Luke Goss's Prince Nuada is more of an ideologue than a true villain, and I suppose I was overly hard on Hellboy 1's CGI. So yes, I think I'm going to put both of these movies into the House of Love. And the better film? Hellboy 2, I think. Without the weight of originitis, it makes the action set pieces of the fantabulous foursome positively shine. Anyway, thanks for watching, and join me next week for more fun and frolics. Keep watching the skies, folks!